has been with the company. He has been with the company since the second month of his sweet beginnings. He's a family man, a father of 3, and a granddad of 3. He has owned his own business for over 30 years and has a natural understanding that profits are definitely better than wages. He is proof that you could start your career over regardless of your age, albeit 18, 58, or 88. You can work this home-based business part-time and have full-time earning potential. Please help me welcome Bronze Associate, Mr. I have a birthday tomorrow, consistency, Joseph Latin. Joseph, are you there?
Yes, I am, Sally Mary, and thank you for the introduction, and thank you for all you do to help us out here at Legacy Builders with our webinars and everything. So, folks, I'm going to jump right into this. I know your time's valuable. We've got a lot to cover here, and I just want to share with you real quick how I got started. I was first invited to this by my brother, Chris, over 6.5 years ago. And when he first invited me, I didn't know anything about gold and silver. I was, the first question I asked him, Chris, what do you do with gold and silver? And so what we want to do is show you why we're excited about 7K metals. We want to show you a little bit about how we earn income here at 7K and what this is all about. And we call this our wealth strategy presentation. And we have this in a booklet form. We also have this not only on our webinars that we do like this, but we have it in videos as well. So if you like what you see and you want to share this with other people, we're going to show you towards the end how you can earn income doing that. But the first thing we want to touch on is our economy. And are you working harder today just to get by? We see that nearly half of Americans can't even cover a $400 emergency expense. They'd have to rely on credit cards or borrowing money or even selling stuff if an event like that arose. So the question is, what's happening with our money? As we look at the purchasing power of the dollar, it keeps going down year after year. And, we're not going to go into this in detail, but a couple important dates here. 1971, Nixon closes the gold window. And what this means is he took our currency and made it a fiat currency. It's no longer backed by gold. And so this means that, as they print more dollars, it continues to devalues the dollars that are already there. And so when we go to the supermarket and spend $20, we can't get as much as what we could a year ago or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. It keeps getting less and less. So when we look at the increases, kind of think about your own wages for a while. The last 20 years, we've seen price increases over 100%, just about across the board. College tuition up over 600%, groceries over 300%. And think about your own wages. Have they gone up 100% in the last year, 20 years? I know for, me and my family, the people around me, the answer to that is no. And so why is this happening? We've seen this happen in other countries. We've seen in Germany, Argentina, Zimbabwe, where they just keep printing more and more dollars. It devalues the dollars down to zero. And, we can't be naive to think that this isn't going to happen here. But what we want to do is kind of shift over to the positive. We want to talk about sound money. And this is where gold and silver come in. And gold and silver is one of the secrets the wealthy have used for ages to amass wealth, to protect their wealth. The governments of the world, there's governments now that are now backing their currency by gold again. And their financial institutions have been stockpiling gold and silver at record pace for the last 2 to 3 years now. And there's a reason why. When we look at gold and silver versus the dollar, gold and silver holds its purchasing power. And we can see this, long-term and short-term. If you look at silver, you go back to 1965, 1 ounce of silver was equal to $1. And at that time, a brand new Ford Mustang was $2,500. So it didn't matter if you had 2,500 ounces of silver, 2,500 ounces, or $2,500, you could buy the new Ford Mustang. Now, we all know you can't buy the new Mustang today in this economy for $2,500. You'd be lucky to get a down payment for that price. But the same 2,500 ounces of silver, and you have enough that you can actually buy 2 brand new Ford Mustangs and have room for upgrades in there. And then look at gold as well. As the inflation skyrockets, so does the value of gold. We see 626 ounces. You could buy a house at $169,000. And this is back in 2000. This is just 23 years ago. If you just move forward 21 years, that same amount of gold has the purchasing power of $1.2 million. Okay, so what this means is for every dollar you convert into silver or gold, you're locking in the purchasing power. So whether it's a year from now or 5 years from now or 50 years from now, you unlock that purchasing power. You can still buy the same amount of goods that you could today. So this is the power of gold and silver. I really wish somebody had taught me this in high school or in college. Our financial professionals aren't even teaching us this. So what we have to do is we have to kind of learn about it on our own. And this is what 7K is all about. There's a lot of questions out there when it comes to gold and silver. And I had a lot of these questions. What should I buy? Why should I buy it? Who should I trust when it comes to gold and silver? And then how much money does it take to get started? And do me a favor, type a 1 in the chat if you have, if any of these questions resonate with you when it comes to gold and silver. Okay, I see there's a couple people, and when we look at buying gold and silver, some companies out there, they'll give you a really discounted price if you buy 500 ounces of silver at a time, as opposed to 1 ounce. And so, for the average person, it kind of takes a lot of people out of the market. Now, there's a lot of mixed advice out there on what to buy and why to buy it. There's companies out there we really can't trust, and there's high minimums out there too. So it can be a tough learning curve. Now, there's also these companies that are selling inventory they don't even have in stock. They're going to take your money. They'll go buy the gold and silver, mark it up, and then send you the gold and silver. So I kind of group them in with the ones we can't trust. So we believe things should be a whole lot easier. This is what 7K is here. We all deserve a chance to really understand gold and silver, get ahead of the game now and forever. This is stuff that can be passed on generation, from our, to our kids and our grandkids. So gold and silver, this is 7K. We're on a mission. We want to help each other create financial independence, preserve our wealth, and really live an exceptional life. And this is through good or bad economic times. The 4 co-founders, these guys are amazing. Roger Ball's a billionaire. He started multiple companies through the years, and these companies even today are doing $5 billion a year in sales. Zach Davis, Richard Hansen, Josh Anderson, they're all multimillionaires, and they saw firsthand how the gold and silver industry caters to the wealthy. And so they created 7K. It's a membership, just like Sam's Club or Amazon. These memberships have benefits with them. And one of our benefits is access to gold and silver. And the gold and silver here, when we look at bullion, there's no markup on it. We can buy gold and silver in gold, rounds and in coins, and they only sell inventory that they have in stock. Now, when it comes to the maximums and minimums, there are no minimums. So even though we're getting dealer direct cost on our gold and silver bullion, we have no minimums. So it doesn't matter if you want to buy 500 ounces at a time or 1 ounce, everybody gets the same low price. And so we even have fractional gold and silver. If you want to put $5 or $10, $50, whatever amount, you can buy real physical gold and silver here with 7K. Now, if you have gold and silver and you want to know, well, what do you do with it? 7K has the fastest and easiest liquidation process on the market. If you ever have to convert your gold and silver back to cash, 7K makes it really easy for us. So when it comes to bullion, this is non-collectible gold and silver. 7K buys the bullion from one of 12 authorized dealers out there. These guys get it at the absolute lowest cost. Now, 7K doesn't have a markup on the bullion. We get it at the same cost 7K gets it at. So we get super low prices. We have gold bars, silver bars, even the fractional gold and silver, like you see here over on the right. So any amount you can buy gold and silver. And we also have collectibles. Now, we don't have comic books and trading cards, but I just want to show you the power of collectibles. If you had one of these comic books, this is the Amazing Fantasy comic book, first debuted Spider-Man back in 1962, originally 12 cents. This one sold at auction for $3.6 million. That's huge. I wish I'd have kept one of these from years ago. The Mickey Mantle card, same thing. This came, I think it was 5 cents, and it came a little with some bubble gum. Now, over $12 million. That's huge. And so we see the power of collectibles. This is where, a small amount of money, you hold those collectibles. These are graded by grading companies. Even the kids' toys. You know, my kids played with the Pokemon cards and things like this. $5.2 million for a Pikachu card, right? This is incredible. So now here we don't have these type of collectibles, but we have collectible coins, and these do the same thing. We see the value of these go up exponentially. Aside from the bullion counterpart, the bullion holds its value. It's nice and steady, but collectibles, these usually are low mintage. They have incredible design, historic significance, and even great stories behind them. And these are graded coins, and they come in a little case like the one I'm holding here. And, you know, these graded coins have been, you know, they look at these under magnification, and the top grade in the coin grading world is 70. Now here at 7K, we have all kinds of different collectible coins. And the examples you see here, these are all graded MS70, which is the highest grade any coin can get. But look at the Tiffany art coin, originally $90, and this was back in 2004. These are all modern day collectible coins. Now has a current market value of $10,000. The Julius Caesar coin and Montana butterfly coin, these just came out 2 and 3 years ago, and these are exclusive only to 7K Metals members. Now, the Caesar coin, there was only 500 minted, originally $349, now has a current market value over $1,000. And same with Montana butterfly, originally $139, current market value of $1,500. So we see the power of collectibles. This is a great offensive strategy to build your wealth. And so here at 7K, we make it really easy. We've got a number of different ways you can get these collectible coins. The Auto Saver program is a monthly auto ship that you can have a coin sent every single month to your house. It's optional. With our membership, there's never an obligation to buy anything, but I definitely recommend one of our auto savers. We have a few different ones to choose from there. The Silver Eagle option is one of my favorites. I've actually been getting that since I started with 7K. It's an MS70 coin. And if you had collected just one MS70 Silver Eagle coin every month since the time they came out in 1986, our price here at 7K is $115. And if we use that price over that time period, you would have spent about $50,000. Now, the collection you'd have today is worth over $1.6 million. That's huge. So I've been on the autosaver for the Silver Eagle. I also have the State Animal Series in silver and the gold notes as well. The gold notes, this is where they combine real art with physical gold, and so real fun to collect. We also have our 7K Select. You can shop 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have a whole bunch of collectible coins in there, and then we have these cool coin drops too. The coin drops are where they'll put up a special shopping cart for us, and when that shopping cart goes live, generally those coins will sell out pretty quick because they're going to be low mintage, they're going to be rare. Some of them are exclusive just to 7K Metals members. So like I said, real fun to participate in those. Now, if you're new to gold and silver like I was, this right here, this is worth the price of the membership by itself. It's going to teach you everything you need to know about gold and silver. All those questions that we talked about before are answered in the training. The collectible training, this is where you learn all about these collectible coins, how the grading system works, you know, what rarity, you know, how that affects it, and the different coins in the different sets, all the different things you need to know when it comes to collectible coins. Because here's the thing, nobody's ever going to tell you what to buy or why to buy it. You're going to become the professional when it comes to gold and silver. We're going to learn all the stuff we really should have learned in high school. All right. So the training by itself, worth the price of the membership, just from everything they teach us in there. So when we look at a couple examples here, this is one, Curtis Harlan. He's a gold associate here with 7K. He's got an amazing team. I told you can earn income here with 7K. He's one of the top income earners with 7K. This is the 50 State Animal Series in silver. He's got an amazing collection and amazing team. Now, also too, my brother Chris, I told you, when we started in 7K, we didn't know anything about gold and silver. Neither one of us had any gold and silver. And you see on his collection, this was actually taken a couple years ago. On the left side, you see the collectible coins. That's that offensive strategy. On the right side, you see the defensive strategy with the bullion. And through the middle, these are different coins that, were offered in coin drops and rare sales that they have. So, it's been fun working with my brother Chris, watching our collections grow. And this is something we'll be able to leave to our kids and our grandkids. Now, when we look at 7K, there's a whole lot of benefits that we're not even to be able to, cover here. Like we have a 7K health program, gold-backed IRAs. We have Stack and Sell, which is a marketplace specifically for collectible coins. And, our Sound Money wallet as well. This is where you can buy fractional gold and silver. So there's a whole bunch of different things here. One of them I do want to touch on is the 7K Advantage. We have our 7K Advantage and 7K Getaway. This is not gold and silver. It's a travel discount program, and we have discounts locally too. There's an app that goes with this where you can save on hotels, rental cars, vacation getaways, at shops and restaurants, even movie theaters, things like this. There's all kinds of ways to save in there. And we also have a getaway program where every year we do a different trip, and the next trip coming up is going to be a cruise in the Caribbean. And we have a contest going right now in 7K. You can actually get discounts off your cruise. And these are really fun. We've been on a cruise before in the Bahamas. We also have gone to Cancun a couple of times, stayed at all-inclusive resorts. This year, we actually went to Dominican Republic, stayed at all-inclusive resort. It was really a great time. These getaways are so much fun. The owners and the co-founders are there. All the corporate team is there. It's really a lot of fun because you get to know the company and the people behind it, and you're doing it with hundreds of other 7K Metals members, which is really fun to do. So, and my brother and I, we've lived in different parts of the country since we graduated back in the early 80s. And with 7K for the last 6 years, we've been able to vacation together, our families, and it's really a lot of fun being able to do that. So to get started with 7K, it's really simple. We're not talking thousands of dollars to get started. It's only $199 for our standard membership. I told you there's no obligation to buy anything. I definitely recommend the autosaver though. When we look at the options in the memberships, the premium membership is how I renew every single year. That's going to give you a few extra perks in there. You've got premium Stack and Sell, which is $199 value right there. 12 months of our wealth system app, premium business building reporting. And if you're thinking about doing this for earning income, I definitely recommend the premium membership. I came from the pest control industry and the assisted living home industry. I had businesses in both those areas. And I got to tell you, when I first started with 7K, those businesses were wearing me out. I needed something that was going to help me to be able to get out of those businesses. They didn't provide retirement, things like this. And 7K has been able to not only help me get out of those businesses, but I work from home now. I work when I want. I get to spend time with amazing people. And the next person I'm going to introduce, he's going to show you how you can earn income here with 7K. He's an executive gold, and he's going to show you what that means in a second here. He's got almost 2 decades experience in the networking space. He's really good at this. And he's been with 7K Metals since the day they opened. Now, he also does a morning motivational call Monday through Friday. You definitely want to get a hold of the information on that and jump on that, and a Sunday night leadership call as well. So Tony Hubbard is going to take it away from here and show you how you earn income with 7K. So I'll let you take it away, Tony.
All right, Mr. Joseph Latman, as always, such a pleasure to be on the platform with you on a Saturday morning to get a chance to impact tens of thousands of lives for the better. And I have no doubt, because I call you Mr. Consistency for a reason. This gentleman has been consistently, produced within this company, and he's impacted tens of thousands of lives for the better. And I have no doubt, because of his team concept and being that ultimate team player, that over the next several years, when they read off the list of individuals in this company that are having phenomenal success, I have no doubt Mr. Joseph Latman's name will be on that list. So definitely hats off to you, my friend. And I look forward to your future success. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joseph Latman did an excellent job, as always, sharing with you guys some of the many reasons why people love what we do. But he first of all talked about the problem. The problem is that your dollar doesn't do what it used to do. That's a problem. He also highlighted the fact that nearly half of Americans couldn't take a $400 emergency in their life. So what we're going to do over the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to share with you guys how a compensation plan has taken care of that problem for tens of thousands of individuals for nearly 7 years. But I think it's fair that before you get information concerning any type of business, to know a little background of the person who's sharing. You see, I was very fortunate to be one of the founding members of this company, to see the information that you guys are looking at right here nearly 7 years ago. But it was a very critical point in my life because I needed something that would work for me. So do me a favor today, put a 2 in the chat. If you've ever been at a point in your life, you just needed something that would work for you. And I took a look at this business model that we're talking about today, and I got involved the very same night I took a look at it, not because I understood everything, but because what they shared with me just made a whole bunch of sense. See, I got involved because I understood 2 concepts. Number one, it made sense to me to purchase gold and silver at the best price. That made sense to me. But it also made sense that if someone's going to get paid whenever someone else bought gold and silver, that somebody probably need to be named me. And that's all I really grasped 6.5 years ago. But I went on to introduce now over 400 people to this concept. And I have a team now that is tens of thousands of individuals around the world. Now, I don't share that today to impress you, but to impress upon you that if someone like myself that does not have a college degree can do this business and earn several thousand on a weekly basis, every last one of you guys here today will have that exact same opportunity. So over the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to share with you guys how this compensation plan has impacted tens of thousands of lives for the better. So let me share my screen and let's just dive right into it. All right. And it's a very simple concept on how we make money in this business. You share the opportunity. You will earn points for sharing, and those points will allow you to get paid. Now, our compensation plan is known in the industry as a dual team system, which means that at the end of the day, everyone you bring on board will be placed on one of 2 teams. Why is that important? Well, if you study this industry of home-based business or network marketing over the last 80 plus years, history has revealed to us, I don't care what the name of your company, what product you market or the service, the average person in their lifetime within that company will only sponsor 2.3 individuals. That's why the dual team system is so popular, because all a person has to do to be in position to start getting paid is to find 2 people that this makes sense with. You're now in the position to start getting paid. Now, here's how it works. Once you bring on your first 2 individuals and start accumulating points, any combination of 500 points on team 1, that can be your efforts or the team efforts, and 500 on team 2, you just earn a $500 commission. And ladies and gentlemen, that's unheard of in this space. You see, in my 19 years of network marketing, I've been a part of other dual team systems. And for the same amount of work, there are companies that will insult you and just pay you $10 for that, $25, maybe $50. But in this equation, you've earned a $500 commission. So do me a favor. I want to make sure I'm talking to the right people. What if you were to get started today and you bring on a couple of people and they do the same and you buy a few coins, and the following Saturday there's a $500 check in your commission? Put a 3 in the chat that if in your mind, that will be a real check. And you know what? It gets better from there. What if I continue to share? I will earn even more points, and at the end of the day, it allows you to get paid even more. In this second equation, because you've reached another rank in the compensation plan, and this is considered a 50-50 binary, which means at the end of every week, you will get paid based upon the rank you achieved and the points of your lesser team. In the second equation, you've earned a $1,000 commission. So let me do my best to simplify this, because I really want you to grasp the power of this compensation plan. Now, there's several different ways you can earn the points that will turn into your monthly, bi-weekly, or even your weekly commission. I mean, the first is retail sales. Part of your membership, everyone gets their own e-commerce site. So if someone wants to test the water to see if we deliver on the goods, I can send my individual link to them. They can buy everything I buy with a slight retail markup. And when they check out, whatever the markup is, the company will split it with you. In addition to that, if they buy anything with points, those points go toward your commission. In addition to that, you heard Mr. Joseph Ladden talked about our auto saver program. where every single month, if you decide to participate in the compensation plan, you can buy a silver or gold coins or gold notes from $115 to $179. They come with 15 to 20 points. In addition to that, several times a month, one of the funnest things about our company, they will give you access to very rare coin sales. Sometimes there's a few thousand of them that exist, and if you're fast enough, you'll get a chance to get one. Sometimes it's only a couple of hundred, and if you're very fast, you'll get a chance to get one of those. They come with points. Also, with part of your membership, just like a Sam's Club or a Costco, you have your own website, and when you go to your website on the product page, all you see is gold and silver coins, bars, as well as jewelry, and every retail product that you buy comes with points. And last but not least, those two memberships, the standard and the premium, for $199 and $499 a year, they come with 50 and 150 points. And when those people renew the next year, they will give you also another 50 and 150 points. And I've seen as high as 70% renewal. All I can tell you, it's a beautiful thing. So what is my income potential? I'm glad you asked. Once you decide to build a team, you can earn anywhere from $500 up to as much as $12,500 on a weekly basis. Now, the thing I love about it, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind this company was started so that everyday people, whether you've had success in this industry or not, can make part-time, full-time, and even life-changing income. So they've simplified the compensation plan. So much so, it doesn't take 12 pages to explain it. It doesn't take 6 pages to explain it. You don't need a PhD in physics or a master in mathematics. This compensation plan can be explained in one single page, and this is our compensation plan PDF. Think about it. Here's the beauty of this compensation plan. The first rung on the ladder is an associate. You get there by just signing up 2 people. I don't care what they sign up with. You place one left and one right, and based upon the points, you can earn up to $500 on a weekly basis. And over the last 6.5 years, there have been thousands that have reached that rank, but our team at Legacy Builders, we specialize in helping you get that done quickly within the first 12 to 24 hours. Why is that? Because we understand 2 business principles. Success loves speed, and momentum is the thing that will make you and I the most money. What if a person needs to make more than $500 a week? Simple. Duplicate your success. Teach a person on the left and on the right how to do what you just did, and add a couple of signups. Now you're a copper. Our coppers are earning up to $1,000 on a weekly basis, and we're helping people get that done in as little as 72 hours. And you know what? It gets better from there. What if I need to make some full-time income? That starts at bronze. You hit copper, you teach 2 how to do the same. Our bronze are earning up to $2,000 on a weekly basis. And I hope you recognize a pattern here, because one of the things I loved about the compensation plan from the very beginning is that it fell right in line. What I was taught by one of my first mentors, Mr. Zig Ziglar, who said you can have everything you want out of life if you simply help enough other people get what they want out of life. And the only way a person will maximize this compensation plan, you have to help the people on both of your teams have your same level of success, if not greater. And I love that about the company. But the next position I really want you to focus on in the center of our compensation plan is silver. Our silvers are earning up to $3,500 on a weekly basis. And you know what? I don't care where you live on the planet. $3,500 a week, $14,000 a month puts you in the top 10% of income earners anywhere on the planet. And the company recognized the fact that here's where the true leaders start emerging. So much so, they decided to do something unheard of a few years ago to incentivize individuals to take their business serious from day one and reach the rank of silver as fast as you possibly can. They say, you know what? For anybody that comes on board and you become a silver in your first 90 days or less, the reward will not be a trophy. It's not a plaque. How about this 100-ounce silver bar you see in my hand that's valued at about $3,000? Now, over the last 6.5 years, there's been over 500 people that have reached the rank of silver. About 200 of them did it in less than 90 days. Some less than 60. And you know what? We've even helped a few get it done in less than 30 days. And because our team at Legacy Builders is responsible for helping over 90 people get one of these 100-ounce silver bars, as my grandmother used to oftentimes say, If you can do a thing, you can teach a thing. I look forward to helping at least 50 more people get one of these 100-ounce silver bars before the year is out. So do me a favor. I want to make sure I'm talking to the right audience. Put a 5 in the chat if you want to be one of the next 50 people that we help get your own 100-ounce silver bar before the year is out. All right, we got a few takers. But before we wrap it up and talk about our highest levels, I think it's valuable that from time to time you hear from testimonials from people from all walks of life that have made it happen here at 7K Metals. This first gentleman I have the utmost respect for. He's been on board now a little over a year's time. I mean, he's an engineer, but on a part-time basis, he's built a phenomenal organization. I want you to hear his testimony on why he chose 7K Metals, top producing bronze, soon to be silver. My man, Mr. Kevin Williams, take it away, sir.
Hey, Tony, appreciate you, brother, inviting me to jump on. Can you see me and hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. Yeah, prior to getting started with 7K, as Tony was mentioning, I'm a logistics engineer. I'm also a single father. I got 3 teenage daughters that I take care of full time. I've been doing that for 4.5 years. In fact, my daughter last month, 2 of my daughters, they just turned 17, 16, and my youngest turned 13 back in June. And so I got my hands full, but when I was introduced to this for the first time, I was kind of skeptical. Of course, I've seen a lot of companies come and go. I know there's companies out there that are doing, lotions and potions and peels and creams, shakes, real estate, travel services, you name it. But this just made a whole lot of sense to me because it's real tangible assets. And I've never collected gold and silver in my life. I never understood what bullion was, I didn't know anything. But the thing is, when I saw it, it made a lot of sense because I was always trying to, save money and never been able to do that. But I just stuck around collecting gold and silver, like Tony was mentioning, a little bit over a year. And then I decided when I went out to a convention last year in May of last year, and I saw what the founders had put in place, and I saw what this company was really all about, the excitement in the room and the excitement of the community, and really, the laughter and the success stories that I heard. I got really, really excited, and I decided to, come back from that event and just start reaching out to people, sharing this with people and reaching out and, letting them know what was going on and what this opportunity could afford them to be able to do. And so you fast forward in February of this year, I actually hit the position known as bronze, made $8,000 that month, working very part-time, still working a 50-hour-a-week job, still taking care of my daughters full-time. But I stopped doing things like cutting the grass and, because that doesn't put money in my pocket, right? So I really, really appreciate the opportunity what it's afforded me, because for the first time since not being able to save, I've accumulated over $40,000 worth of gold and silver. The great thing about it is these commissions that I get every week. Been getting commission checks from this company every week this year. They pay for the gold and silver for me. So that's really, really good when you could get gold and silver for free, right? Because you just rolled up your sleeves, strapped up your boots and went to work. So I love the fact of what we're doing. I love the fact of the company. I love the community. And I love the fact that I have real tangible assets. Like, that sound right there. You put a pack full of vitamins in your hand, and I guarantee you it's not going to make that sound. So I love what we have here, Tony, and I love the fact that we're literally really creating a legacy company. And so I'm no longer stressed out about money, no longer stressed out about trying to make ends meet. I'll no longer go to the grocery store try to decide which beans I want, the ones I like or the ones I can afford. So I love the fact of what we're doing here. I thank you for letting me share, and it's been a true blessing to me. Back to you, Tony.
All right, Mr. Williams, man, I always enjoy your testimony, man, and definitely hats off to you. Look forward to you knocking that silver out and gold before the year is out. This next gentleman is someone I have the utmost respect for because he's been on board now a little over a year time as well. And on a part-time basis, he's reached the rank of silver, has a phenomenal organization, and is laser focused on replacing his current income. Help me welcome to the call to share his 7K Metal story, top producing silver, soon to be gold. My man, Mr. Jason Shirley, take it away, sir.
Hey, good morning, Tony. Yeah, thanks for everything. Yeah, I can't outdo Kevin. 3, full-time dad with 3 girls. I mean, so I have 4 kids. I'm a divorced dad. I have 4 children, and that was a tough time for me. But a little over a year ago when I was introduced to this, I was looking for something. I really was. I needed something to help me, not only financially, but something to free some time up so I could spend more time with my kids. And there's a lot of things that I had given up over the years chasing dollars. And so this is really it's just changing things for my life, but without a doubt. Not only am I making additional income working some part-time hours, I'm starting to put away some legacy type wealth for my kids. Like over the past year, I've already put away $25,000 worth of gold and silver. And it just keeps getting better every year. I'm just adding more. My income's growing, and I'm so excited about what's available. And I think the very best part of it is that we can do it part-time. We don't have to be full-time, because if it would have been full-time requirement, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I was already full-time and then some. So I give all the credit really to Legacy Builders. I mean, 7K is an awesome company, awesome offering, the best in the business that's out there, in my opinion. But really, Legacy Builders is the key that really ties us together. This is what took me from not having any experience in putting a business like this together, having no clue what to do, and actually taking me down that path, through a mentorship basically, and just teaching me how to be successful and do great things for my family. So very excited. Thank you, Tony. Thanks to Scott Zuckman. Thanks to all the team in Legacy Builders.
All right, my man, Mr. Jason Shirley, is a man of few words, ladies and gentlemen. I like calling him the silent assassin, because, I mean, every single month you see his team just keep growing and growing. So definitely hats off to you, man. Look forward to you knocking gold out real soon. And that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the last few positions in our compensation plan is gold, executive, and presidential level. And at those levels, individuals are earning up to $7,000, $10,000, up to $12,500 on a weekly basis. Now, for those of you who think you got invited way too late to the party, I want you to relax. Because although our company is nearly 7 years old, in November we'll be 7 years old, and the company did over $100 million in revenue last year, along with an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, we've only been blessed to earn up to $50,000 a month for the last couple of years. There's only about 90-something people right now that reach the rank of gold. 18 of us have become executive goals. And that's only 3 presidential goals in this entire company. So there is plenty of room at the top. But I look forward to seeing those numbers double, triple, and even quadruple. Because when you look at everything 7K Metals has to offer, we are by far the best kept secret in all of the network marketing space. So to wrap everything up here today, I want you to ask yourself the question: how would it feel to know that for $199 a year, you have your own miniature franchise? You have tax benefits because it's considered a home-based business, so there's no way you lose. You can start stacking gold and silver and take full advantage of the benefits and make part-time and even full-time income. How would it feel to know for $499 a year, you have a business in a box? And not only do you have the potential to have a stack that looks like Curtis after 3.5 years, to look like Chris, that's well over 600,000 after 6.5 years, but to be able to earn some full-time and even life-changing income with a product that just makes sense. Well, right now, ladies and gentlemen, the ball is in your court, and all you have to do is just make a decision. And I think Dr. Benjamin Mays said it best. He said, I only have a minute, and there's only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, I can't refuse it. I didn't seek it, nor did I choose it. But you know what? It is up to me to use it. I must suffer if I abuse it, give an account if I lose it. It's just a tiny little minute, but an eternity is in it. Just make a decision. It's okay. Here's what I know to be true. No decision has always been a decision. Because every time I share this information without fail, as far as coming on board and making that intelligent choice, individuals always fall into 1 of 3 categories. And yes, ma'am, yes, sir, you're on here today. Person number 1, say, you know what? I like what I hear. I'm really not into that networking thing I've been talking about, but I see what's going on with the dollar. And I know I need to be putting my money into hard-earned cash of physical gold and silver. I say, great. Get back with the person invited to the Zoom. Let them know you're number 1. You have $199 and you're ready to start stacking gold and silver and taking full advantage of the benefits. Person number 2, you like thousands of our associates that say, you know what? I think it's cool to buy gold and silver. I think it's a beautiful thing to get collectible coins. But with real inflation being closer to 10%, and I've never gotten a 10% raise on my job, so that lets me know I'm falling behind every year, my household could use an extra $1,000 a month. You have no idea what kind of financial relief it would be if an extra $2,000 showed up every month. I say, great. Get back with the person inviting you to the Zoom. Let them know you're number 2. You got $199, or better yet, you got $499, and you're ready to start stacking and making money. But if you're like I was guy number 3. When I found out I could make up to $50,000 a month with a product that just made sense, this became a no-brainer to me. You see, being a student of the industry, here is what I knew to be true. There are thousands of companies out there in the network marketing space. And you know what? They all make money, but they don't all necessarily make sense. And here's what I mean by that. You see, it never made sense to me to pay 5 to 10 times the price for a product or a service that I could literally go to Walmart. I could go to Sam's Club, get the exact same ingredients for a fraction of the cost. That just never made sense to me. But you know what has always made sense over the last 6.5 years? Having 100-ounce silver bars showing up in your mailbox. What about 1-ounce collectible gold coins worth about $2,800? Or better yet, what about getting access to coins that are exclusively released through our company? And one of my top 5 favorites is this 5-ounce USS Arizona coin that was designed by Mr. Miles Standish. There's only 1,177 of these coins in the world. And that's the same amount of people that are still in tune. And it's also a piece of wood from the decking of the USS Arizona. To be able to buy a coin for $850 that's selling for over $6,000 less than 2 years later, to have this stuff show up and to be able to make up to $50,000 a month, ladies and gentlemen, that made sense to me. So do me a favor, put a 3 in the chat if the information you've heard so far just makes sense. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and let's just have a real conversation, okay? Because here's the truth of the matter. If you're a guest on here today, I don't expect you to grasp everything we just covered over the last 30 minutes. I don't. But the truth of the matter is, we've all made far more expensive decisions. We've all made far more critical decisions with a lot less information. And let me just share it with you. Put a 2 in the chat if you've ever worked a 9 to 5, and before they turn you loose, you had to go through some type of orientation. Put a 2 in the chat if that's your story. That before they turn you loose, they say, hey, listen, you got to go through these manuals, you got to do this, okay? All right. Well, let me see how many honest people we got on there. Put a 3 in the chat if you still didn't know everything there was to know about that job after those first couple of days, after those first few weeks, and sometimes even after a few months. But here's what I know to be true about you. You at least hung around long enough to get a check. And that's all we're asking you to do today. We're going to break for a few minutes after we do the Q&A. And then we're going to do an hour worth of training. And we're going to show you how to get that check. We're going to show you how we've had thousands of people make part-time income on a full-time, make full-time income on a part-time basis. We're going to show you how last year we helped over 200 people make over $100,000 last year. We're going to show you how were able to do that. Because here's what I found to be true. If you're on the fence today, here's what I found to be true before we open up for the Q&A. One of the reasons why people are looking for some type of plan B, because most of the people I talk to, they are still stuck in corporate America. Most of the people I know, here's their scenario. They go to places they hate. They work for people they don't respect. They're paying you just enough you don't quit, and you're working just hard enough you don't get fired. You tell me that any kind of way to live. See, it ain't no secret, ladies and gentlemen. Most heart attacks take place on a Monday morning between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning. That tells me some people would rather die than go back to work. It's just that bad. But the reason why I started in this space is because I saw what happens when people get laid off. I saw people's lives get destroyed because they didn't have a plan B. And so if you're looking for some part-time, I say welcome to the family. If you want to go full-time and replace your income, we've had people to replace their income in 6 months. We've had people part-time replace their income in a year and 2 years. So if that's what you're looking to do, and I say welcome to the team, welcome to the family. So we're going to open up the floor right now. So if you're a guest on here today, and you got a question about anything myself and Mr. Joseph Latin share, here's the time you want to raise your hand, put something in the chat, and we'll allow you to unmute and share that question. Because chances are, if you're on here and you got that question, there are other people on here today that have that exact same question. So the floor is open, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're a guest and you got a question, here's the time. All right, I don't see any hands raised right now. We're gonna give you a few more minutes. Okay, there we go. Okay, all right. Let's see where we at. Okay,
Hi, good morning.
yes, you have the floor. So Andre Bent, is it?
Yes, that's it. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was very clear. I wanted to know about the building the team. So you would have two directs, and if, say, for instance, you have other persons that you need to become a part of the company, you could place them under your directs. Is that how the build goes?
Yeah,
I wasn't very clear on that part.
that is correct. And but you can have as many directs as you want, but every direct will go on your left or your right. And the ones that you bring on after your first two, those individuals will still be direct to you, but they'll be underneath those people. So they'll reap the benefits from that as well. And we'll teach you how to do that, Andre.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And you got that pretty accent. Where you located at, Andre?
Well, I'm in Florida, but I'm originally from Jamaica.
Okay, all right, okay. One of my favorite places in the world. I
Thank
know
you.
about that callaloo, that jerk chicken, jerk pork.
Yeah.
Saltfish. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Beautiful thing, man. Matter of fact, when we have our cruise in January, that's one of the ports we're gonna stop in. So I look forward to that.
Asking about expansion.
All right. Anyone else? Great question, Andre. Anyone else? And again, we're gonna show you how to build a team. Any more questions? Okay. Miss Sally Mary, let's see. My man Ray doesn't have internet because the storm knocked him out there on the West Coast. I'm sorry, the East Coast. And so, Sally Mary, if you have the flyer for the upcoming event in 3 weeks, the Charlotte event with myself, Mr. Ray Patterson, some of the top leaders, and I see Miss Emily Manuel is on here. I think she's going to be virtual. But if you had that flyer, if you would share it so we can start promoting for that for the next several weeks.
Yeah, certainly. I can do that right now.
Okay.
Stand by. All right, here we go. So this is the flyer right here.
That is the one. Okay. All right. Making it big. Okay. All right. Good deal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I found to be true. The most successful people in this space, they build a business from event to event. Okay. And at the end of the day, meetings make money, period. End of story. But the meetings that make you the most money, those Super Saturday, those regional events, this is a regional event. It's going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, the weekend of September the 21st through the 23rd. As you can see, myself, Mr. Ray Patterson is the host for that event. He's what is called a CFA, a Chartered Financial Analyst. This gentleman has made millions, and he has a fund. He has a few hundred clients where he manages over 75 million for those individuals. So on Friday, it's going to be a financial education seminar. They're going to be talking about trust. They're going to be talking about from the tax standpoint on how to not only make money, but to keep your money. So it's going to be a lot of financial education that's going to be there. We got some attorneys that will be there that provide a particular trust that's considered the top trust, if you're going to get one in the world, that will really protect your assets, and you don't have to worry about anything. And so all that financial education will take place on that Friday. That Thursday night, we'll do a wealth strategy at a restaurant. And that Friday, it'll be a financial seminar, 1 to 5 in the evening, and then 6 to 9 after dinner. And so you'll have 2 sessions where you can plug into. I'll also be doing one-on-ones at that same hotel during a day on that Friday. And then, of course, we have the Super Saturday with myself, Mr. Scott Zuckman, several top leaders from all over. and we're looking at 200 plus at that particular event. So if you're in that area within a couple of 100 miles, I would definitely encourage you to make that sacrifice. And but also, let's talk about how we can help you promote so that you can get representation in that area as well. So so that's going to be taking place September the 21st to the 23rd, that Thursday through the Saturday. So you definitely want to make sure you plug into that. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break now. I'm showing 7 minutes till. Sally Mary, if you would play the music again. But we're going to give you guys 7 minutes to refresh yourself, and then come back and also reach out to your team members. We got a little over 50 people that's on here right now. Let's see if we can take that thing to 100. Reach out to your team members and say, hey, listen, Executive Goal is going to be showing us today how to get the full-time income, how to get the 6-figure income here at 7K Metals. So let's go ahead and break. And at the top of the hour, we'll come right back and we're going to do some training on how to go from zero to hero in a very short period of time. God bless. We'll see you guys back at the top of the hour. Sally Mary, take it away.
When your why is failing, when hope is slim, when your muscles give out, when the love around you is hard to find, and nothing seems to be going right, what will keep you going? Toward the light, toward the struggle, toward life itself. Sheer, raw, backbreaking, unimaginable grit. Put your head down and make the promise to yourself and to everyone who matters to you. If nothing else survives this, if nothing else flourishes, I will. Through grit, through the unending, unbending, deeply ingrained need to just keep going. One more day. One more minute. One more breath. Grit.
Legacy. What is it? Is it Tom Brady with his 7 Super Bowl rings? Tiger with his undeniable greatness on the course? Ali with his knockout of Frazier? Steve Jobs with his vision and relentless tenacity? Sure. We came to fight! But is legacy only reserved for greats in sports, celebrities, or icons in business? No. Legacies are an undeniable constant that every human breathing a breath has no choice but to leave. Big or small, good or bad, each one of us will leave a legacy. The problem is that they aren't built in a day, and you can't cheat it if you want a good one. Legacies are built with time, work, character, meaning, and discipline, all things that can't be erased easily. They don't fade quickly or sour easily. They are the memory of love, hope, and courage for the next in line to walk the path. They can be physical things or lots of indelible lessons taught and learned over time. The good ones are probably both. The best legacies are deliberate works of art that have an impact on the ones who matter most to the person with the brush. We will all be remembered for something, and destiny gives us the option to choose. See, the goal isn't to live forever, it's to create something that will. So pick up the brush and start painting. Start living the legacy you ultimately want to leave.
We, the people of 7K, believe in the stability of sound money, in becoming financially independent, in creating wealth through the power of collectibles, in our futures because we control them. We believe in building legacies that last, in leaving something for those who follow, in learning from our history, in honoring heroes, in remembering the tragedy and hoping for a better tomorrow, in telling and retelling stories so that they're never forgotten. We believe in joining together like-minded people with their sights set high, in the power of humanity, united and free, and supporting each other, whatever it takes, in spreading knowledge, truth, positivity, and love, in treasuring our families and communities, in treating all others fairly and respectfully, in giving people hope and inspiration. We believe in becoming the best version of ourselves, in becoming our own bosses, in setting goals that make us reach farther and overcome more, in speaking and acting out of selflessness, in freedom, and in just a little bit of luck. We believe in taking responsibility for our own lives, thoughts, actions, and paths. We believe in facing challenges head on, seizing them until they begin to change into something that can be overcome. As your challenges become malleable, so will you. And you can begin to shape yourself to your will, molding yourself into the person you've always imagined you'd see in the mirror. The person you've started to become. The person you're striving every day to be.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate everybody to holding on. Hopefully you were able to refresh yourself and to get the word out to your business partners so that they can get the same training information you're about to receive. We have a treat this morning, a young lady, because of the time difference. I didn't know if I'd be blessed to have her on here today to share. But here's what I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that there are people that call themselves leaders. There are people that say they're servant leaders, but the proof is definitely in the pudding. And this young lady here, she's all about action. She's all about doing it. And one of the greatest leaders that ever to come on board here at 7K Metals. She's only been on board for a couple of years' time, not even 3 years, but she's been on board. But she not only hit silver in less than 90 days, but then after she went to her first convention so she could get the bar, she made up in her mind that she was going to go gold the week that she got back, and she was able to do that. And so definitely is someone I have the utmost respect for. She is definitely a leader's leader. And when you can get over 100 people that come from paradise to Vegas for a convention, you are quite the young lady. So help me welcome to the Zoom to share today, to do some teaching, top producing goal, soon to be executive goal, my friend, Miss Emily Manuel. And it's what, 7 o'clock in the morning over there, or 6 o'clock in the morning?
It is 6 a.m. now.
See that? Hey, that's a real leader right there. Let's give it up for Miss Emily Manuel.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey guys. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Emily, as Tony mentioned, and I have been a part of the company for just a little over 2 years, going on my 3rd year. And I'll just give a little background. When I first started, I had no intentions to build. I was kind of done building. I'd been parts of other companies before, and I ran hard and ran long. And when I took a look at this, I knew the value of gold and silver. And then I started learning the value of the collectibles. And I decided that at some point I was just going to share. And it wasn't to make money, actually. But then the first week after I made my first $250, I thought, gosh, now I get my coins for free. I mean, shoot, what a great way to make that portfolio grow a lot faster. And then I thought, gosh, well, what you mean is you're saying that I'm taking my cash, my currency, my fiat currency, and I'm transferring that over into real money. And that really got me. And so here I am, sharing the message of 7K. I wanted to share, for those of you who've been in the business a long time, sometimes, and maybe not even people who've been in the business a long time, in life, things happen to us. How many people here, just drop in the chat, how many of you here have had times where they were super challenging, whether it was financially, emotionally, whether it was in your career, just you've had tough times. And I would imagine that 100% of us that are here probably had at some point a really tough time in our lives. And so the key here, you guys, is when we have those tough times, what one video that Sally Mary had shared in the beginning was a video about grit. And it's what makes someone a leader or what helps someone become successful. If you take a look at all the traits of people, it's usually a combination of a few things, but one in particular is grit. And grit is to get past, right, all the challenges, all the obstacles, all the things that you've done, and still find the desire, the goals, and the ways to be able to stay on course, to stay on track, right? Like really focused, even amongst the storm. And I'll share a story. So we just got back. There's a few of us that got back from a leadership trip, and on that particular trip, it was to to river raft for about 6 days. And I kind of didn't want to go at first because you have to river raft, and then after you river raft, you camp out, and then you river raft camp, and you do that for 5 days straight. And you're definitely like out of your comfort zone. There's like waves that are super huge. There there's challenging times where your muscles are like, challenged. But I'll tell you what I love about that trip. It took me out of my comfort zone. It took me out of connection with Wi-Fi. It took me out of really the day-to-day life that we're so used to or accustomed to. And I'll share this really cool story. I watched the members who took care of us on that river, the staff that took care of us on that river. These people, they were young, they were in their 20s, but they were strong and they were wise and they're super knowledgeable. And I would watch them down the river. Here's a really cool thing. We got down the river, right? And there was one rapid in particular that we did not expect to hit. It was a class 4 rapid that was not there two days ago. And so I was watching the guides, and one of them, our guide that was in our raft, she said, "Hey, this is kind of new, and so we're gonna try." And we were the first boat up, and so this was watching our guide look at the raft and the river, and taking a look at what approach are we gonna take when we get down this rapid. And I knew it was big because for the first time she had kind of put her helmet on, locked it up, and said, "All right, here we go." Now, that could have been really scary. There were a couple times where I had flipped and my butt off the seat. And there were a couple times I thought that the raft was going to flip over, but it didn't. The guide took us through safely. And so I asked the question, I said, "How did you guys know what path to go when you were taking a look at that river?" And they said, "Well, we've been doing this a really long time. And because we've been doing this a really long time, I can read the river. I can look at the path, and I can look at it and almost instantly know which is the best path to take." And so my takeaway with that is, you guys, that in life, we're going to have a coach, we're going to have a mentor, we're going to have leaders that have had experience in the past. And these leaders are going to be being able to look at that river, or look at that class 4 rapid, or look at the pathway. And the leaders know the way. And the leaders can look at a situation that might be a little bit new, but based on their past experience, that they can navigate through that wave, that class 4 wave, and be able to get you through that safely. And so that's one point, is trust your mentor, trust your guide, especially if they've had experience, because more than likely they're speaking from experience and they've done it before, and they probably know the safest path to go. So that's one. The other key that I got is, as I watch these, and I don't want to call them kids because they're adults, but they're younger. As I watch these mature adults, right, these young mature adults take care of us, I realized that I felt really, really safe. I loved that not only did they make me feel safe, they also were very servant driven. They were there with every need that you had, and they were there to cater you, not in a way they'd be like gloating over you, but they anticipated your needs. They anticipated, and they knew that in terrain where people aren't used to doing this thing, right, they knew how to make you feel comfortable even when you're uncomfortable. That was so powerful. I also watched these team leaders, right? There was a team lead, her name is Sammy, and then a bunch of the rafters that were just under her direction during that time. Now, this lady, I tell you, as soon as they landed that raft on that beach, every single crew member knew where to go. There was one assigned to cook, one assigned to go and, do this and do that and unload. And so, I mean, it was phenomenal to watch how they operated. And they worked as a unit. Not once did I ever see them argue. They always had a smile on their face. And this is a tough terrain, you guys. And they were prepared. They were prepared. Guys, they cooked stuff that I couldn't even believe you could cook down at the beach. And I live in Hawaii. And so the other takeaway that I would take with that, you guys, is that as a team lead, they had team members that knew what they were going to do. They all participated. They all worked together. They all were in unison, and they all had the same mission and that purpose. It was to be able to take these team of people that are trusting them to have a wonderful experience doing this entire ride that could be completely uncomfortable. So that takeaway, you guys, is work together as a team. And then lastly, this is my third and last story and my third and last point. There were 3 different types of crafts that you can go in. There was the kayak, which is a single person kayak. There was a river raft where you could participate and everyone paddles together with a guide. And then there was another raft, which I called the gondola ride. And the gondola ride is where people just sat in the gondola and they had one of the crew members paddle for them the whole way. And so you could select any of those 3 boats. I wanted to be the one that participated in everything. So I started off with paddling with a group of people, and then eventually I made my way into the kayak. I've kayaked before. I've used hard hull kayaks. This was a soft kayak. So it was a little bit different of a feel. The first day that I kayaked, totally great. Weather was awesome. And ran through a few small fun rapids, with the kayak. Nothing super crazy. But the next time I went into that kayak, it was really funny because the second I got into that kayak, the wind shifted, and we were at a pocket where there wasn't a whole lot of what do you call that, flow in the river, right? It was kind of a little bit calm in that area. There was some flow, but not as much. And so here I am. I'm stuck now. I'm in this kayak, and the wind is blowing towards me. The river is flowing this way with really not much momentum to carry me anywhere. So I was really like paddling and not moving. I remembered yelling at the kayaks that were ahead of us and the river rafters that were ahead of me. I said, "The wind is too strong." And I yelled some more and I said, "It's not moving. I can't move." And I remembered, they were like shouting back at me and I could barely hear what they said, but I knew they were signaling that they were waiting for me, to cross this area that was really tough. And so I was the only one back there. There was no one there to save me. The river rafts could not go backwards on this river. There was just no way. They had gone too far down that river at that point where the currents were too strong for them to go backwards. So I was on my own. I mean, meaning I was still with the team. They knew I was there, but I had to paddle on my own. And I paddled. I saw on the corner of my eye, I saw that there was more of a momentum on the left side of the river. So I started paddling towards that area where I knew if I could catch that little wave there, that combined with the wind blowing against me, that I had a chance to cross. And so I made it. I made it across through the wind, through not having any momentum, you know, using whatever willpower that I had. And so here's my takeaway on this, is that there's going to be times where you're going to be stuck and things are going to be super hard. There's going to be times the wind is going to be blowing against you and you're going to feel all alone. And you're going to see that there are people ahead of you and you feel super discouraged and maybe about ready to give up. But there's no chance to give up. You can't. And so what you've got to do, you guys, is you've got to be able to participate in your own rescue. People are going to want to help you, but you've got to be able to help yourself to get through that part, because there's only some things that only you can do. There's only some things that only you are able to help yourself get there. And then the rest other people can help you participate in that rescue. But you've got to be the one to power through that hard stuff. You've got to be the one that gets through it, even when things don't look like anything is happening. When you're rowing that kayak really, really hard and you're still in the same place, just know that if you keep going and you keep learning and you keep trying a new path and you keep listening to the mentors and you keep letting the people who are cheering you on encourage you, that you will win and you'll get to safety and you're going to have a great time doing it. And so, guys, those are the 3 things that I wanted to be able to share. I hope you got some really great takeaways from that. But it was a beautiful adventure out on the river. And thank you, Tony. I love this man. Amazing gentleman, amazing human, amazing leader. He's been a blessing to not just myself, but to many. So thank you for allowing me to share this morning.
Emily, like I said, you're that special leader that people pray that they have a whole team full of them, but they're blessed to even have 1 or 2 of. So definitely hats off to you, Emily. Like I said, I know you'll continue to do great things here in the company. And I still call her the queen of 7K. You know, that's the queen. You know, that's the queen of 7K right there. You know, so but that being said, ladies and gentlemen, again, you hear from her teachings, the life stories, and how she's able to parlay that into success and to be able to teach that, because she's really that team leader. I mean, John Maxwell oftentimes says it takes teamwork in order to make the dream work, and that's definitely true. And I'm going to share with you guys a couple of things today, but I want to start out by just sharing what she was talking about, I guess, to piggyback on what she was talking about because the truth of the matter is, if we're all honest with ourselves, now I've been blessed in my 19 years in this space. I've earned a few $1 million. And but I would be lying if I said that there wasn't times that I thought about quitting, you know. And I'm just gonna be honest with you, that there would be times that you'll go through depression and things of that nature, because things don't always go the way you plan. But I'm oftentimes reminded of the famous quote, and Emily touched about it, you know, about not quitting. And the famous quote about quitting is said, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns. And many a fella turns about when he might have won had he just stuck it out. Don't give up, though. The pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Often a struggler is nearer than it seems to a faint and faltering man. Often a struggler has given up when he might have captured that victor's cup, and he learned too late when the light came down how close he was to that golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, that silver tint in the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight. When your heart is hit, is when things seem worse, that you must not quit. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm encouraged, because one of the reasons why I love this space of network marketing, I love this space of entrepreneurship, is that I see people still fighting for their goals and dreams. I think one of the saddest things that happened to people in corporate America, because it happened to me, is that people stopped dreaming. Scientists have figured out the biggest dreamers in the world are 4- and 5-year-old children. but they noticed a great decline in their ability to dream when they turn 6 years old, when they start going through school. And I think one of the saddest things that happened to people in corporate America is that they stop dreaming. And one of the reasons why I love this space of entrepreneurship and network marketing, is that not only do people start dreaming again, but many of those people, like Emily Manuel, start seeing their dreams become reality. So I'm encouraging each and every one of you guys. There will be times that you'll consider quitting. I mean, I considered it many times, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, even when I was making six figures, I mean, because things, went south. Your top leader quits, your top producer quits, a whole team quits, But one of the things I found to be true as a leader, if you're going to be successful in this space, you got to learn how to keep leading even while you're bleeding. You got to learn how to keep helping even while you're hurting. And so that's something I've learned in my 19 years in this space. And so I'm going to talk about two things today during the training, and then we'll open up at the end for Q&A or any kind of comment. The first is about closing. I'm going to teach you some basic stuff about utilizing system to close. I mean, we've all heard the acronym ABC, always be closing, in network marketing. But I'm gonna teach you some simple things today. No matter if you this is your first time or if you're a veteran in the space, to utilize the system. And I want you to write down what systems are in network marketing. The acronym SYSTEM stands for Save Yourself Serious Time, Energy, and Money. And these basic ways to close and to teach your team to close, if you do this consistently, my promise to you is that success will not elude you. All right, so hopefully you guys are in a position where you can take some copious note. I'm really big on that because one of my mentors, they call him E.T., the hip hop preacher. One of the things he talked about when I went to one of his seminars, said the reason why anytime you hear people that are having the kind of success you want to have, that have had the kind of success you want to have, anytime you get a chance to hear them, you always want to be taking notes. And the major reason why, he said, because people forget what the paper remembers. Let me say that again. People forget. And I know some of you out there have that photographic memory, but the people forget, paper remembers, okay? I mean, a lot of the stuff you guys hear me teach on is because I took notes from people that were having the kind of success I wanted to have. So we're going to give you some basic stuff as far as what you can do and what you can teach your team to do when it comes to closing prospects. Put a 5 in the chat if you want to be a better closer and you want people on your team to be better closers. I want to make sure I'm talking to the right people. Put a 5 in the chat if you want to be a better closer and you want people on your team to be a better closer in this business. Okay? First thing I want you to write down when it comes to closing your prospects, enrolling them into the business, getting them signed up, getting them started. Closing is all about them, not you. I want you to write that down. You got to have the right kind of mindset. Closing is all about them, not you. People can see you a mile away if you're coming to them with commission breath, if you're really not giving them value on what they're doing. Closing is all about them, not you. Okay? All right? And that being said, when it comes to presenting, when it comes to enrolling people in the business, it's more important to be interested than to be interesting. I want you to write that down. It's more important to be interested in them and not for you to be Mr. Interesting. Let me say that again. It is more important to be interested in them and for you not to be Mr. or Mrs. Interesting. All right? So the best closers in network marketing, bar none, ladies, the best closers are the ones that ask the right questions. See, some of you never close people, never enroll people in the business because you don't even ask the question. It's not enough to give a phenomenal presentation. It's not enough to give a phenomenal testimonial if you don't ask for the sale, if you don't ask for the close. So the best closers are the ones that ask the best questions. One of my mentors, Jeffrey Combs, he wrote a book, More Heart Than Talent, because he said the average person that comes into network marketing, that's their story. They have way more heart than they got talent. He said the best closers are what they call master askers. Master askers, askers. They ask the best questions. Okay, so let me just give you some simple stuff as far as closing. At the end of the presentation, you never ask them at the end of the presentation, what did you think? Because I promise you, that's going to trigger all kind of negative stuff that they've been thinking about. Here's the question you want to ask at the end of the presentation. This is something you can do, and you can teach everybody on your team to do. After they sent a video to a prospect, after they sent something through the recruiting app, what did you like most or what did you like best about what you saw? And then pay attention. What did you like most or what did you like best? Whichever one of those you want to use. And then get your ego out of the way. Okay? What did you like most? What did you like best? This is something you can do and you can teach your team how to do. If you were sitting down with me and I'm doing 5, 6, 7 follow-ups and closing, I'm gonna sound like a broken record because I'm asking the same question every time. What did you like most? What did you like best about what you saw? Make a note of it. If it's a mental note, or write it down, and then get an agreement with them. Because you're only going to hear some of the same responses every time. I like the fact it's a binary. I like the fact you got gold and silver. I like the fact I can make full-time income on a part-time basis, whatever the case may be. I like the fact you got a savings program. So you ask the question and then please listen. Don't just ask the question so you can say something else. Ask the question and then listen to what they have to say. There's a book I would recommend you guys to get. It's called The Art of Listening. Because, a lot of you're stunning your growth because you ask the question, but you don't listen to what they have to say. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Period. End of story. Let me say that again. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that goes for the complete stranger that you bring into the business, your best friend, your cousin, whatever. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So when I ask the question, I'm genuine, want to know what did you like most and what did you like best, and how what I have my hands on could possibly be a blessing in your life. And then once they give you that, ladies and gentlemen, they say, you know what? Hey, yeah, you know what? I love the fact it was gold and silver too. I love the fact it was a binary that I can make full-time income on a part-time basis. So I'm in agreement with that because I love everything about what it is we do. And so once I get that response, then, I find out what they like, then I'm going to focus on that. Because some of them, they just want to be a customer and stuff. And as a leader, you need to respect that. About 80% of people that sign up in 7K Metal, they just want to be a customer. All right. And as a leader, you need to respect that. Because once someone said, I want to get started, the first question I ask them, do you want to just be a customer? Do you want to build a team? Or do you want to do both? If they say, you know what, right now, I just want to be a customer, as a leader, you need to respect that. Okay. Some of you, you're killing your own business because you're trying to make everybody signs up be a builder. That's not the case. And that'll be the second part of this training. Jim Rohn did probably the best training I ever saw about how the business works in network marketing, for you to understand that. And he taught it based upon the biblical principle, the parable of the sower. And at the end of the day, he said 1 out of every 4 that you inquire and you share the business with will build a team. 1 out of every 4. Those are the numbers worldwide in network marketing. 1 out of every 4. Those are the numbers in 7K. 1 out of every 4 people that sign up builds a team. Those are the numbers. Okay, 1 out of every 4. And you need those 75% that just buy a coin every month. Okay, you need those customers. But 1 out of every 4 will build a team. And you need to respect that. I mean, one of the most unfair things a leader can do is to make my goals the new person's goals. I know everybody I sign up ain't trying to be at $50,000 a month before the year end. I know that. I know everybody I sign up, and somebody unmuted themselves. Let me see who this is.
The last one. It's the last one.
Okay, Chris. Okay. Let me do this. Mute everybody. Okay. All right. I know that everybody I bring on board, they ain't trying to get to 10,000 a month before the end of the year. Some people have never made 10,000 a month in anything. So I meet them or whatever their goal is. I believe in letting people get in where they fit in. I'm not trying to make a buyer a builder. And by the same token, I'm not trying to make a builder a buyer. I'm going to share with you guys a funny story that, and this gentleman helped me reach goal in June of 2019. I was the first in the field to do that. But again, I've always built my team based upon letting people get in where they fit in, okay? And I signed up a pastor of a church early June of 2019. Now, I've been over at his church, and he saw me give out my business card to another gentleman that asked me about what it is I do. And he saw the gold coin on the card, okay? And so he called me up a couple of days later, and he said, you know, I want to talk to you about the gold and silver business. He said, can we meet for lunch? I said, absolutely. So we met for lunch. Now granted, this guy runs a six-figure business. He has a big contract where he cleans places at the Bush Airport in Houston, the biggest airport in Houston. So he has a contract where he cleans the buildings at the Bush Airport. He has a crew, you know, has employees and stuff. So he does quite well with his business, okay? And so when we met for lunch at this Mexican restaurant, I mean, right away, he started in on me. I ain't trying to sell nothing. I ain't trying to sell nothing. You know, I just want to be able to get some gold and silver coins for my kids and grandkids. I ain't trying to sell. I said, okay, Pastor. I mean, he can put a cross up, you know, like I'm a vampire or something. I ain't trying to sell nothing. I said, Pastor, listen, you can put the cross down, but let's talk about how we can set you up so you can buy the gold and silver. And so sure enough, I go through the presentation. Even throughout the presentation, I ain't trying to sell nothing. I said, okay, Pastor, let's go ahead and go through the information. And I said, listen, if you really want the best for your kids and grandkids, not only do you need to buy bullion, but you need to get collectible coins, okay? So he got on the coin of the month. And then 3 months later, he gives me a call. And he said, what are these points? Because he had 60 points because he was on the coin of the month on his pay leg. And he had nearly 10,000 points on the other side. I said, Pastor, don't worry about those points. Remember, you told me you don't want to sell nothing. So, you know, hey, you're buying a lot of bullion. Hey, keep on doing it. You're doing a great job. I said, those points are for people that want to build a team and make money. But you told me you ain't trying to sell nothing. That's for people that want to sell something. He said, well, I can make it. I said, no, Pastor, you were very specific. You didn't want to sell nothing. So just go on, keep buying the bullion. You're doing a great job. He said, well, if I can make a little money, I said, okay, great. Let's go to lunch again on me. Keep your little cross at home, because I ain't no vampire. And let me show you how to build a team. 3 months later, he was the silver. He was my second silver that took me to gold. But he is still on the coin of the month today. He still makes a little over 1,000 a month and buying a lot of gold and silver. But he and I have a great friendship. Pardon me. He and I have a great friendship, all because I respected what he wanted to do. Okay. Now, and you guys will have the same thing happen for you. There are some people, Kevin Williams' story is a perfect example. He initially came in just to be a buyer. But then all of a sudden he went to a convention, which I encourage you to tell people that they can go to, regional event, called fire and stuff. In a very short period of time, he went from zero to hero, became a bronze, and made $8,000 in 1 month, okay? So let people get in where they fit in, okay? All right, so here's the thing. Ask people what did they like most or what did they like best about what they saw, all right? And then once they give you that information, again, especially if you're new, if you've been in this business, I don't care if it's 6 months, a year, or whatever, you want to utilize your senior business partner to help you in the closing process. That's where three-way calls come into play. A good three-way call, and I'm not going to go into detail on that part. A good three-way call is after the prospect has seen some kind of presentation. I don't care if it's a video or something. You don't ever want to do a three-way call if that prospect has not seen something first. Okay, so you want to send the videos that we have in the app and stuff. But a good three-way call is after they've seen something and after you've sorted them and they say, okay, I like this, I like that. Then you want to utilize the three-way call and put them on the line with your success coach. On an average week, ladies and gentlemen, I do 50 to 100 three-way calls for different people on the team. Many of you on here today, I've done three-way calls for you, okay? So, again, as part of the closing, remove yourself out of the equation. Because one of my mentors told me this. He said, listen, if you want to make money in your first year or so in this business, early on in your network marketing career, all you have to do is get good at putting folk in front of folk that know more about the business than you. Let me say that again. Get good at putting folk in front of folk that know more about the business than you. Okay, so let's just say you asked them, what did you like most? What did you like best? And they say, you know what, I like this, I like that. And I said, it would sound like, you're looking to maybe get started. So I said, well, listen, I'm fortunate to be working with one of the top leaders in the company. He's very busy. She's very busy. But when I get on the line, whatever your questions are, ask them that question. And let me show you an easy close for you that you can do. And then you still want to utilize the three-way call. Or if you haven't done that, I can do when you put them on the line with myself. And here's the simple thing. You tell them and say, listen, when people see this information, as far as coming on board and making that intelligent choice, they always fall on a scale of 1 to 10, okay? 10 means I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to do this. 1 means it's probably not going to be for me. Where right now, where do you see yourself? That's the 1 to 10 close. That's a simple close. That's not confrontational. All I'm trying to do right now is to find out where you are in the decision process. Where you are as far as coming on board and making that decision. Ask on a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale, typically when people get on a Zoom, typically when people see the information, as far as coming on board, they fall on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 meaning I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to do this. 1 means it's probably not going to be for me. Where do you see yourself? Right now, where do you see yourself? That's something you can do with every prospect, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not intrusive. I'm not confrontational. I'm just trying to see where you are in the decision process. Now, here's what you want to write down. And here's what to determine whether or not you want to put them on the line with your success coach, or do you want to expose them to another presentation? If that person tells you they're 7 through a 10, that means they got 1 or 2 questions and they're ready to get started. Okay, 7 through a 10, 1 or 2 questions, they're ready to get started. 6 or less, that means they're going to need at least 1 more exposure. And keep in mind, when it comes to bringing people to the business, it's all about exposure, ladies and gentlemen. All I do is move them from exposure to exposure till they either buy or die. Let me say that again. All I do is move them from exposure to exposure until they either buy or die. All right? So that exposure, once they say, okay, I'm a 7, they say, sound like you need, you got 1 or 2 questions, you ready to get started. Okay, great. Here's what we're going to do. I'm fortunate. I'm working with one of the top leaders in the company. Her name is Emily Manuel. She's a gold associate. She's very busy, but let me see if I can get her on the line. And when I get her on the line, ask her those questions. I'm working with one of the top leaders in the company, Mr. Yuri Melendez. He's very busy. But let me see if I can get him on the line. And when I get him on the line, ask him that question. Okay? All you let him do, hey, you don't have to do nothing fancy. I'm working with one of the top leaders in the company. His name is Jason Shirley. He's very busy. Let me see if I can get him on the line. But when I get Jason on the line, whatever your questions are, ask him that question. Now, if they tell you the question, before you bring Jason on the line, you might want to give him a heads up. I mean, this person wants to know about this. They want to know about that. But even if they don't, ladies and gentlemen, we're well prepared to go ahead and handle those objections and then move them to a 10. Because I'm going to say, okay, you told Jason you're a 7. What do we need to do to help you become a 10? What would make you become a 10? Okay. And then make that happen. All right, 7 to a 10. They got wonderful questions. Because here's what I found to be true, and we're going to wrap it up at this next part. Here are the numbers in network marketing. The average person signs up in any network marketing company after 4 to 6 exposures. I don't care how good of a presenter you are. I don't care how amazing testimony they hear. The average person signs up. This is worldwide in the industry. The average person signs up after 4 to 6 exposures. So if I understand that to be true, what I focus on, what I'm going to encourage you to focus on, is controlling what you can control. Meaning, I can't control how many people sign up in the business. What I can control is how many people are properly exposed to the business. Now, I am still the #1 recruiter in the company's history. In 6.5 years, I've recruited over 430 people, okay? Over 430. All that means I've had way more no's than you, but I've gotten real good at putting people through a process. That's all that means. I've gotten real good at moving people from exposure to exposure. You know, of those 400 and some, less than 30 signed up after just 1 exposure. If it happens, that's icing on the cake. I don't look for that. What I look for is making the next exposure bigger than that exposure. So let's just say I piqued the interest and I send some videos out to them. And I follow up. What did you like most? What did you like best? I like this, I like that. Okay, great. Sound like you need to get some more information. I always make the second exposure a live exposure because now I can invest some time in them because I've already sorted on whether or not they was curious or serious. And the fact that they watch the videos, that lets me know they're serious as opposed to just being curious. So what I do after that, I always make the second one bigger than the first one. So I might put them on a Zoom. I might put them on a Zoom like our weekly presentation, or I might do a one-on-one Zoom on somebody else. And then after that is where I typically go for the initial close. Where you at on a scale of 1 to 10? Now, after that takes place, ladies and gentlemen, let's just say they're still not ready. I'll focus on the next exposure. And the next exposure, you know, it may be a one-on-one Zoom, just me and them. If they're local, we might meet for coffee. Like today, in a couple of hours, Mr. Greg Cortez, I'm meeting him with a couple of prospects that's already been on a Zoom presentation. I'm meeting him to help them get started in the business. Because now we're going to do a live exposure, and this is their 3rd time being exposed to the business. But all I'm doing is focus on exposure after exposure, and I'm controlling what I can't control. And that's what I encourage you to do, the exact same thing, and utilize the system that's in place. So if you've only been in a few months, even a year, you want to get good at utilizing the system that's in place. You are people that are financially beneficial to what you bring to the table. So utilize those individuals. And the best of the best, they will make themselves available to you, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why you want to utilize the 3-way call, because the 3-way call, pardon me, allows you to be taught, because you're going to listen to what I say, how I say it. You're going to understand the language, the posture, the whole 9 yards, and how we're able to move your new prospect to becoming a new signer. All right. Now, that being said, I'm going to wrap it up with this, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, one of the best trainings, and I would encourage you guys to go to YouTube and to watch the training from my man, Mr. Jim Rohn, where he trains on the network marketing business and how the numbers play out. And those numbers play out. He used the parable of the sower. You know, the sower went forth and sowed the seed, and it fell upon 4 different environments. You know, some fell by the wayside, some fell upon thorns, some fell among thorns, and then the last one fell upon good ground. Okay, and a good ground that fell upon a good ground, all of them didn't produce the same. Some produce 30-fold, some produce 60-fold, and some produce 100-fold. All right, that's what happened. Okay, and I'm telling you that those are the number. 1 out of every 4 that you bring on board in 7K Metals will build a team. I want you to understand that. The best of the best in the industry, the people that have made millions of dollars, again, 1 out of every 4 that you bring on board will build a team. Now, if I want a healthy organization, if I want people to be with me, I mean, I have people that have been on my team for the duration of 6.5 years. They've been on the corner of a month for 6.5 years. There are many of them that have several 100,000 points on one side that are banking, that if they decide to build, they have that there. There are many of them, I have dozens of people that have over 1 million points on one side. Think about it. I have people that have up to 20 million points on one side, okay, that have been with me since the very beginning. 20 million points on one side, and the highest rank they reached was copper. I have got to have over 10 million points on one side. The highest rank he reached was associate, okay? But he's on that coin every single month. And you know what? I mean, put a 5 in the chat if you want people to be on your team for the next 5 years. Put a 5 in the chat if you want people that you sign up that will stay on your team, buying coins, bringing people on for the next 10 years. You want to know the secret sauce to that, okay? Here's the secret sauce, ladies and gentlemen. People do what gets praised. Let me say that again. I want you to write that down. People do what gets praised. If you want to have a healthy organization, you want to make that a habit of praising the people for when they have a certain level of success. You don't need to just praise them when they become silver in less than 90 days. You don't need to just praise the one that become gold in 120 days. Everybody on your team, from associates on up, when they have that success, you as a leader should understand human nature. People do what gets praised. The best example of that was the famous painter Picasso. He credited a lot of success he had in his life because his mother praised him all his life. His mama encouraged him all his life. He said his mom would oftentimes tell him, said, son, if you decide to become a soldier, you're going to end up being a general. If you decide to become a monk, you will end up being the Pope. He said, I decided to become a painter and I ended up a Picasso because people do what gets praised. And if you want to take it to another level, if you want to take it to a whole nother level, get in the habit of rewarding people on your team when they hit copper, when they hit bronze. I'm not talking give them everybody $100 or silver coin or gold coin. You can do something. I mean, I've sent silver eagles out to people because they hit certain things. Why? Because I understand this. What gets rewarded gets repeated. Let me say that again. What gets rewarded gets repeated. What gets rewarded gets repeated. All right? Now, Jim Rohn said, of the builders that you get on your team, 1 out of 4 will build, but they all won't build. Everybody, all my builders didn't become gold. All my builders didn't become silver. All of them didn't become bronze. But again, here's what I want you to understand. In that scripture passage, it says some built 30-fold, some built 60-fold, and others built 100-fold. What does that mean? There are people that will come on your team, and the highest they will ever reach, 2 years, 3 years, will be copper, will be associate. As a leader, you need to respect that. You need to honor that. And you need to give them the same kind of respect that I give the executive goals, that I give the presidential goals. I let them know I appreciate what they bring to the table, that they are not less than because they become a silver. They're not less than because they didn't become a gold. They're not less than because they didn't become executive or presidential gold. Because guess what? In order for you to become silver, you got to have a few people become bronze. You got to have a few people that become copper. You have a few people that become associates. And you got to have a few people that never hit a rank, but they own that coin of the month every single month. And I want them to know I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I have tens of thousands of people that buy a coin every single month. Tens of thousands of people on my team. Tens of thousands. And from time to time, I'll send them a text, or I'll buy a coin for somebody else and send it to them. Because I understand, I appreciate the reason why people can make six figures, because you have a lot of people that make just $500 a month on your team. You have a lot of people that make $1,000 a month on your team. And you wouldn't be there if it wasn't for those people. Okay? I want you to understand that. So if some people, if the highest they reach is copper, that's 30-fold, ladies and gentlemen. You respect that. You need to honor that. Some that build 60-fold, you got some people, the highest they'll rank is silver. And you need to respect that. You need to respect that. You need to show them that love. Because guess what? You wouldn't be making what you're making if those people didn't become silver. If they didn't bring on people within their sphere of influence. And then you will have a smaller percentage. You'll have a smaller percentage of people on your team that will produce 100-fold. That means they'll become gold. They'll become executive gold, and they'll become presidential gold. Ladies and gentlemen, our company's approaching maybe a little over 100,000 people in 6.5 years, okay? Only a little over 100 people have reached gold or higher. Think about that. Only a little over 100 people. Now, when you look at only about 20,000 have tried to build a team and stuff, you know, only a little over 100 people have become gold, executive, and presidential gold, and you have several of them that are on this Zoom right now. Okay? Several of them on this Zoom right now. But I want you to understand, I'm giving you the answers to the test. Okay? I'm giving you the answer to the test. If you want to have a thriving, healthy organization that not only are you winning, but it's a winning environment for the associates to win, for the coppers to win, for the bronze to win, for the gold to win. People do what gets praised, okay? Some of the people, all they would ever produce is 30-fold. That means the highest they'll get to is a copper. You need to respect that. You need to show them that love. Let them know, because by them getting there, you earn income from that, okay? Some of the people, they'll produce 60-fold. They'll become silver. They'll become a top producing bronze. You need to show them some love, okay? You need to appreciate the fact that those people, you wouldn't have earned the income you earned if they didn't get to bronze, if they didn't get to silver. Because they used their sphere of influence. They brought their own currency to the table of the people that they know. And for the ones that are 100-fold, hey, I love them. But I love, my mentor told me this. He said, if you're going to have a large organization, a healthy organization, he said, you got to love them all the same, but work with them differently. And you want to be guilty of doing that. Love them all the same, work with them differently. All right. Do I spend more time with the top producers? Absolutely. But do I also spend time with coppers? Do I also spend time with associates? Do I also spend time with bronze? 100%. Because I want to help that B student become an A student. I want to help that D student become a B student. All right. So I'm just giving you the answers to the test, ladies and gentlemen. Something that has served me well in this business. So we're gonna end that with that today. And if anybody got any questions, comments, add to takeaways, raise your hand. We'll allow you to unmute and share what you have, because we know this is always the biggest producing week in the company, the first of the month, because renewals hit on the first of the month. Still the first of the month is the biggest auto saver. And so there's several I mean, it's a beautiful thing to look at a report and see a few thousand people making anywhere from 250 to 12,500 this week. Okay. And some of you are pretty close. So, all right, Cheryl Winowitz. I hope I said that right. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I have the right spelling for the gym. I think you said Rohn for the training video.
Right, ROHN.
I'm so glad I asked. I did not spell it that way at all. And do I just look them up that way to find it?
Yeah, just go to YouTube and look for the training, The Parable of the Sower.
Okay, Parable of Sword. Okay, and boy, have I written so much down from what you said today. It's been super excellent. Thank you so much. You are great. Thank you.
You're welcome, Cher. How long you been in the business, Cher?
August 3rd or 4th.
Oh, so you a real newbie there. You're a newborn.
I just got my first membership last night, but I'm going to be rolling now. I'm getting my education under my belt, and I'm going to educate everybody else now.
Hey, everybody, show us some love. Put some hearts in there for
thank you so
our
much.
new Cher Winowitz.
Thank you.
Where you located at, Cher?
Well, it's called Canfield, Ohio, which is northeast Ohio, outside of Youngstown. Some people have heard of that. An hour east of Akron.
Okay.
Near Pennsylvania, but anyway.
Welcome to the family here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Anyone else got any questions, comments, add to, takeaways? I see several leaders on here. Do any of the leaders have anything they want to say before we wrap it up today? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, my goal is to help everybody win. I mean, at the end of the day, will everybody win? No. Because that's the way things work out in life, you know. But I want to make sure that I can rest well at night because I've done everything I can do to make sure that people on my team won. Okay. We're going to give you a hand to win. Whether or not you play that hand, it's going to be on you. But we're going to do our part to help create a winning environment because I love to see people win. Here's another champion here. Alicia Kaufman.
Hi.
Young lady.
Good morning or good afternoon, I should say. Fabulous training, the basics, you know? And it's like, I just think for me, I know that, but yet still it's a good reminder and it brings you back. It's that whole coaching thing. You may play a sport and you know what to do, but listening to the coach kind of reminds you of how to hone your skills. So thank you so much, Tony.
I appreciate you, superstar. I know you're over there doing it. I know that.
Working on it, yes. Yeah.
Anybody else? Anybody else want to share? Got a question? Add to, take away before we wrap it up. We got 3 more minutes, and we're gonna shut it down. Miss D. All right, then, Miss D.
Yes, I'm
floor is yours, young lady.
I don't say much, but this training was right on time for me personally. Because what I find with network marketing, a lot of people don't want to get involved because they think about the upline. They making all the money. When we have someone like you that comes and says, I'm going to help you, you know, this training was so on point. And this type of training is, for me, is what gets the momentum running. Because now I know I have someone who's going to help me get to that point. If the people I bring in, we talk about duplication, we follow what you do and we carry that on to our people and it just keep going down. You have no choice but to keep growing. So I just love every minute of this training this morning. And I say, thank you.
I appreciate you, superstar. Look forward to seeing you walk that stage again. All right, Miss Alicia, you got something else you forgot to say?
Yes. I don't know why I didn't think to say it before, but Mark your calendars, people, for October 14th. The
Okay.
details will be coming on 7K exclusive, but we're hosting a Super Saturday here in Orlando. Jason Arfman is confirmed to be coming. I got a place right off of International Drive in Orlando. It's walking distance to 40 restaurants. So come a day early or stay a day late and have some fun. It's right by the Orlando Eye, right by Ripley's Believe It or Not far from Universal. So, so one of the things I love about this industry is whenever there's a trip, I go in a day early or a day late or whatever amount of time. And guess what? It's a tax write-off. That's one of the benefits of having your own business. So I was able to negotiate a great price on the hotel. It's only $129 a night for Orlando.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Amazing.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Over there
So-
with Disney, over there with Disney World. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's
Mr.
not
Dave-
far from the airport. So
Okay. All right. Good deal. Mr. David Smith, aka Brother Tenacity. The floor is yours, sir.
Good morning, my friend. Good morning. Hey, I appreciate you doing all this and everything. You know, February 2019, I learned about 7K at a prepper show. My sponsor came down there and had a booth set up, and I saw the video and I jumped in and I came out the gate at a sprint, full-blown sprint. Didn't know anything about gold and silver or collectible coins or anything like that. Didn't even want gold and silver because I didn't understand it. But I tell you, from the very beginning, if you will make the commitment to run this race, come out with a sprint. But when you get to that certain point, now turn it into that long marathon, because this is a journey and we're going to keep continuing to learn from each other. Those like yourself, mentors, we've been together on a lot of events and a lot of vacations and stuff. I love everybody, even Alicia, you know, everybody, I'm meeting new friends. So this is a journey, but along this journey, you can save for yourself. We've saved over $200,000 in 4 years of assets. We've done this in 4 years. And we looked after 2.5 years. And when the Stack and Sell came out and we loaded everything up on Stack and Sell, we said, where in the world did we come up with 32,000? That was just the beginning of Stack and Sell. That was just 2 years in. Now we're 4 years in. And I said, but we're not hurting financially. Why is it we've been trying to save, never could save this kind of money like this, and we're still not hurting financially? It was amazing. But then as Alicia brought in, I started looking at all the different things, the home-based business tax advantages that we have kicked in with all that. And so we're working hard for money, but now we're getting to be able to keep more of our earned income, and we're not chasing it anymore. We're turning it into real assets, and we're actually building wealth. Even if our team isn't taking off and exploded and I have all kind of money coming in, it doesn't matter. It's just look at the results on the back end of it and all the things that we've been able to take advantage of it. Then I just said, I'm going to commit for sure. I'd already committed in the beginning. When I start something, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to just quit on myself. I'm going to finish it and I'm going to get where I want. And so even if it takes me 10 years, I've heard you say that, I don't care. 7K is going to be here 10, 20, 30 years. I know the founders. I know their corporate, put everything they put together with corporate. They've got it fixed. It's run like a fine-tuned machine. And so I'm with the right company and with the right people and right friends. And I look forward to making a whole lot of new ones along the way. Thanks, Tony.
All right, Dave. So I take it that you're going to be here at the Super Saturday at the end of the month in Houston, the 28th to the 30th.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a hop, skip, and a jump for me, my brother.
All right, good deal. All right, Linda Metters, the floor is
Doors.
yours.
Yes, sir. Great job. Yes. Good afternoon, Tony, and to everyone else. I just wanted to say in listening, thank you for the explanations, great analogies and applications thereof of how to go about doing what you do and working with humanity. I just enjoyed and wanted to commend you for touching base with the frailty of humanity even though it's in a business setting. And I love the structure and the foundation of how you lay things out. Sound, sober-mindedness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Looking forward to furthering this journey in 7K. Thank you.
Lynn, how long you been on board?
I believe about 2 months now.
Oh, so you
about a month to 2 months, yeah.
Another one of them newborns, okay.
Yes, I'm waiting, treading the waters. Yes, learning
Where
every
you
day.
located at, Linda?
I am in Tampa, Florida, just now by way of Wisconsin.
Okay. You want to make sure you get over that event. Alicia Kaufman some kind of way pulled it off where the CEO gonna come over there. So yeah, you want to go there.
Yeah, I was looking at that the other day. Okay, I'll look at it, not promising anything, but thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Mr. Williams, did you have something you want to say? I told you to turn on camera. You just want us to look at a Denzel looking guy. I mean,
hey, my friend, listen. Hey, I'm super excited, boss. I just appreciate everything that we're doing here with this opportunity because and I loved Emily's analogy, what she brought to the table as far as in sharing. But people, I just wanted to bring up, a simple fact that a lot is going on right now with a shift in the economy. This is a global thing that's happening. We're bringing a message of hope, a message of prosperity, and a message of community when it comes down to if people work together, and if people really have that drive and that, like I said earlier in my testimonial, just roll up your sleeves, lace up your boots, and let's get this going, because we're making an impact, one family, one household at a time, with a message of hope. And I want you guys to be encouraged, because don't buy into all the doom and the fear and this and that, because we're having a lot of fun over here. Okay. And not only are we having a lot of fun, but if you're not having fun, then you're not doing this right. The worst thing that ever happened to me and sharing this plan with anybody is they handcuffed me and threw me in the back of a trunk, and I wasn't seen for 5 months. That's the worst that's happened to me. So look, have a lot of fun with it. Okay. Nobody's going to get mad at you for trying to change their lives. And that's just what I wanted to share. Appreciate you, Tony.
all right, guys. Well, listen, we know this is the closeout Saturday midnight Mountain as a closeout for commission. Looking at the report, there's several of you guys with a little bit more effort. You can make that 500 this week. You can make that extra 1,000 up to 12,500. So let's go ahead and stretch. I'll be available via phone if you guys need a three-way call, help out on that. And so we want to end it today. I want to encourage you guys. One of my favorite motivational quotes, and here's what it said: "There's nothing to fear. You're as good as the best, as strong as the mightiest too. You can pass any battle or any test because there's no one just like you. There's only one you in the world today, so no one else you'll see can do your work in a justifying way. You're the only you'll be. So face the world, and all life is yours to conquer and love and live. And you'll find the happiness that endures in just the measure you give. There's nothing too good for you to possess, no heights where you cannot go. Your power is more than belief or a guess. It is something you have to know. There's nothing to fear. You can and you will, because you're the invincible you. So set your foot on the highest hill. There is nothing you cannot do." Ladies and gentlemen, let's go out there and make it a great day, because it is the stone cold fact. We have a better way. Now let's go out there and tell the world. Everyone have a great day. I love you all, and there's nothing anybody can do about that. Let's take this thing to the moon. God bless.